Hello! Yes, I know this isn't my Raw review, but there's a little topic that needs to be discussed in an adult and a manner that's based in the real world. So let's get into it. So, since Raw 30, there have been many people online complaining about women, and these people didn't even care before the Bellas decided to say something about it. If the Bellas didn't decide to say something about it, then all these people wouldn't be kicking off online right now. But what these people don't understand is that representation doesn't equal good business. And here's why. Over the course of a couple of months last year, the Raw main events, sometimes the entire last hour of Raw, was dedicated to the women. Now, I believe this was a test to see if they could draw big numbers, or any numbers of that matter. And from what the ratings have said, they did big drops, and I mean big drops, as soon as the women came on for the last hour. This is simply because people aren't interested in women's wrestling anymore. It isn't believable, it isn't fun to watch, and you can't force people to like something they just don't have interest in. Not only that, but women's wrestlers who have left WWE due to bad treatment, so to speak, have gone to other companies and flopped. Paige, who became Saraya, came out of retirement as a babyface. Within a few weeks, they had to turn her heel because she was getting booed, and now she's just floating around doing absolutely nothing. Sasha Banks, who was a big name who was talked about for a course of time, that really annoyed people like me because it was too much news on one person. She debuted for New Japan at Wrestle Kingdom. She came out to no crowd reaction, and don't give me that excuse that they're not allowed to cheer in Japan because COVID. That rule was dropped for that show. She botched her promo, they botched a move, the move botch wasn't her fault, but they still botched it, and the crowd was absolutely dead. When she went backstage in the press conference media scrum, the Japanese press had absolutely no idea who she was, and she was, someone asked me a question, because no one knew who she was, no one wanted to ask her any questions. And this is a major problem if you think people like this are big stars. And don't come at me with that, well, she got New Japan 40,000 new subscribers. Here's the thing, right? If all those 40,000 people were there for Sasha Banks, then they are obviously just virgin simps. But I can guarantee you most of them were there for Twinkle Toes versus Will Ospreay, not Sasha Banks, who wasn't even announced for the show. Another thing I like to add is that how can you say these women are oppressed in some way when they are on big money contracts in one of the biggest companies in the world, and don't come saying, oh, they only get this much. Anything over 100,000 a year is big money, and if you don't think that, then your life is way too privileged. They get the Saudi Arabia shows, yes, they have to dress fully clothed, but they still go and take the money at the end of the day. You know what I mean? It's not like they're point blank refusing, I don't want to do this. No, they cover themselves up and they take the money. And then you get people like the Bella Twins saying, there isn't enough representation, blah blah fucking blah. Who cares? Now Saraya Paige is chiming in with some irrelevant response because she's supporting the Bella Twins, women, and all that shit, right? At the end of the day, if the women can't draw ratings, why are WWE going to keep pushing them on Raw and SmackDown in tons of segments when those segments drop massively? It's time people started living in the real world and not fantasy land. Representation doesn't equal good business, and you can't run a business on imagination. If people really care that much, then someone needs to start an American version of Stardom, all female wrestling promotion, run by women, for women. Just go and do that. If you all care so much that the bloodline takes up 17 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour, however long it was, on Raw 30, and the women only get 4 segments, then there's nothing else I can say to you. The bloodline segment, which people somehow blame Roman for, even though Roman doesn't book the show, he just works there. The bloodline segment was one of the best segments of all time. Why are they going to cut that short for a Bianca Belair and Charlotte Flair promo? Okay, so I think I've covered absolutely everything. If I do miss something, I will make sure to let people know on Twitter, because everyone's at it. You get people who mock the women's division weekly and say how shit it is, and then you get the same people tweeting hashtag WWE women deserve better. What else do they deserve? They have everything they want. They've had main events, WrestleMania main events. They have their own Royal Rumble, Money in the Bank. And yes, the firsts were fine. But after that first, it flops. And it's going to continue happening, whether you like it or not. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon.